Welcome to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And I don't know why you people didn't tell me, but I totally didn't tell you what the book of the month is. I didn't tell you what the listener challenge is. It's already August 7th, and I've completely failed you. I guess I just have been feeling pretty shitty since the first. So here we are. August book. If you checked out the website, recoverydailypodcast.com, it says what the August book is. So for those of you overachievers, you already know. But the book is called Drunk Mom, a Memoir. And this is what it's about. 3 years after giving up drinking, the author, I'm not going to pretend to pronounce his or her name. Her name. So 3 years after giving up drinking, the author found herself throwing back a glass of champagne like it was ginger ale. It was a special occasion, a party celebrating the birth of her first child. It also marked her immediate full-blown return to crippling alcoholism. In the gritty and sometimes grimly comic tradition of the best-selling memoirs Lit by Mary Karr and Smashed by Corin Zalkas, Drunk Mom is the author's account of the ways substance abuse took control of her life, the binges and blackouts, the humiliations, the extraordinary risk-taking, as well as her fight toward recovery as a young mother. This courageous memoir brilliantly shines a light on the twisted logic of an addicted mind and the powerful, transformative love of one's child. Ultimately, it gives hope, especially to those struggling in the same way. Sounds good, huh? So that's it. That's our book for the month. I am currently listening to A Woman in the Window, or The Woman in the Window. There's a movie that recently came out that stars the main character from Enchanted. I'm terrible with actors and actresses' names, but anyway, that's for you cheaters, that's the movie. But it's pretty good, I think. I don't know. I'm right in the thick of it. So The Woman in the Window. And yeah, so after that, I'll be getting started with Drunk Mom, a Memoir. And that is our book of the month. So the listener challenge, I put zero thought into this this month. I know it's terrible. I don't know well, I do know what's going on. But I'm just gonna say we're gonna try to put some yoga back into our lives. So I did yoga today. I know I talk about yoga all the time. It's a struggle, but I really, really want it. So, yoga, 6 days a week. Okay. So yoga can be, pick your poison. Your yoga can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you want it to be, but the effort needs to be there. I'm going to do yoga. So anywhere from, we'll say 5 minutes to an hour. I'm hoping to do an hour. I did an hour today. And did I feel like it? No, but I did it and it felt good. I'm feeling the same as I have over the past week, but I'm just doing it anyway. I've had a really, really good day. I felt really terrible today, but I just lived life anyway. And I worked on a upcycle table that I've been working on for a year, which is not how long it usually takes me, but the weather and the headaches and stuff, that is what it has been for me. That's the reality of this upcycle project. So I got out there and painted it. I think I'm finished painting, and next I'm going to be decoupaging album covers to the inside of this. It's a coffee table that used to be a turntable on the inside. So I gutted it and I'm turning it into a bar for my daughter and her boyfriend. And I've been struggling to try to figure out how can I make it unique. And it struck me to decoupage album covers all along the inside of it. And so my little album covers showed up from Amazon today. And I'm also going to see if I can cut. I got some old records, and I'm going to use a hot knife and cut them in the shape of a rectangle to overlay parts of the table where it's just like a place where you would put your glass. So I'm gonna put album, like record vinyl over top of it. So it should be cool. We'll see how it goes. I'll definitely have a picture on my website when I'm done with it. But I finally got the idea. The idea maker came through, and so hopefully I can finish it up here soon. Okay, so what is the topic for the day? That's a good question. Let me hop over to my topic, and here we are. The topic of the day is living sober is truly living. And I think that this is really suitable for today because although I have been feeling crappy, I am living sober. And I still feel like I'm truly living my best life, um, despite the challenges. So we're going to talk about joy and fulfillment that comes from living sober, and using our minds and bodies the way that they were meant to be celebrated. I mentioned that yesterday. Strengthened, pushed, and actualized. One of the things that will always stick out to me when I first got sober was when I used to go running with my friend, and I could barely run for a whole minute. I was very lightheaded and just had no energy. My nutrition was very much lacking from years of drinking and not eating and that kind of thing. So once, like, I kept doing it anyway. Thankfully, she was very patient with me and didn't mind if I walked, and we ended up going at least, gosh, I feel like we were going a couple times a week. I can't remember now, but I got stronger. I started getting stronger, and I was fascinated by that. And it's because I was, at the time, I was 42, and let's see, I was 43 by the time I started running, but I got sober when I was 42. So, I spent a lot of time doing things when I was drinking, but I never got better at them. When I was in college, I used to run, but I never got better. I always felt crappy and it was unpleasant. but I liked the high afterwards. I was dehydrated when I was doing it, and it was hard for me to breathe because I was smoking, but I wanted to run. I wanted to be a runner, so I just did it. And I never got better. Then when I graduated and I got married, and my son was probably about three or so. Yeah, he was probably about three. I started running again. Same thing. I was running like 2 hours of sleep. I would go running in the morning. I would go to sleep at like 3 a.m. and wake up at like 5 and go running. And I was drunk when I went to bed. So I was pretty much running drunk. Same in college. And I never got better at it. I thought I should get better. So I kept pushing myself more, but it never got easier. So when I started this running thing again, when I got sober, I felt like that's the way that it always is. You do it and it just never feels good, but you do it anyway because the high afterwards is enjoyable. You know, it's rewarding afterwards to look back and say, I did it, even if it didn't feel good. So, but then I started getting better at it. And I realized as I continued to improve and I started to have this goal that I'm going to run a 5K because I believed that I could actually run a 5K. I never imagined I could run a 5K because it was so hard for me to run, you know, just a minute or two. And so I started to practice running a 5K and I got better at that to the point where I've told you guys before, I was running a 5K every, like 4 times a week. And that fascinated me that my body was capable of so much more than I ever allowed it to do because I was poisoning it with alcohol. Um, so this living sober is truly living. That's what I'm referring to, is getting to this point where our bodies and our minds can perform in the way that they can get better at things and things get easier. And we can not only reach the goals that we set out to, but from there, we can market and have another goal that's even higher, even harder. And that's just amazing to me. So that's what this topic is. I feel like I just said the whole episode in the overview, but whatever. So living sober is not just not drinking. It is going through the steps and addressing what is going on physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And it takes time. It takes a lot of patience with yourself. But by walking with another person, a sponsor, a community of sober people through these steps, we begin to engage with life fully. And we begin to embrace opportunities to grow and thrive. And those opportunities sounds like such a positive word to me, but when I'm saying we embrace opportunities to grow and thrive, what I'm thinking of is I'm embracing walking through the mud. I'm embracing doing push-ups. I'm embracing studying hard, working hard, doing the things that don't feel good, doing yoga for an hour. Those are the opportunities. Quite often, I find that the growth comes from pain and discomfort. That's where it comes from. So when I say opportunities, I'm pretty much saying embracing pain and discomfort to grow. When we use our minds and bodies the way that they were meant to be, we can tap into this deeper sense of fulfillment. And sobriety has allowed me to celebrate successes, big and small. And I'm not just talking fluff, I'm pushing my boundaries and actualizing my potential, even after a stroke. And my potential, as I was writing this script, I recognized that my potential right now feels different than it was before my stroke. I feel like I cannot reach the same successes that I did before my stroke. And I don't know that that's a healthy mindset, but it seems to me to be reality that I'm accepting that there are some things I just can't do right now. And maybe there's always going to be the possibility that that will change, I hear. But it's important for me to recognize that potential has shifted. And that doesn't mean that I'm less and I'm going to celebrate less and I'm not going to be as strong and I'm not going to push as the, boundaries as far as I was before. For me, what it looks like is that my potential is in different areas now. I am not going to be running 5Ks. I'll just put that out there. I'm not going to be running 5Ks anymore. There's so many blockers to me running a 5K. I like to look back and be like, I did that. I did that. But now with my head being bothered even by walking down the street, and then also all of the pains that I have acquired over just getting older, I think, it's just not going to be for me anymore. But there are so many other things that I have potential for that I never even looked at before I had my stroke. One would be this podcast. Like, what is my potential? I have lots of ideas locked safe in here up in my noggin and that are related to the podcast, related to my book, related to all of these crazy crafts that I have going on. So I still have, I still have, I can't think of the word, goals. I still have potential that I can actualize. So one of the things that I heard this morning in my sobriety program was easy does it, but do it. And that's what I was thinking this morning when I decided I'm just gonna live it up today. You know, I can do all the things, but I need to go easy on myself. So the things I'm not even going to challenge myself to try to remember what I did today because my brain is definitely being, I can tell I'm tired all of a sudden because I'm having a hard time putting thoughts together. I love episodes where I can't think straight and I can't find words. Um, what I did today was I would do an activity and then I would eat my breakfast. Then I would do an activity and then I would sit and listen to my book. Do an activity and then I would eat lunch, so I had on time and off time all day. And that really seemed to work for me. I felt like um I was pushing myself today because I was so tired of not being able to like do anything. But I still made sure that I took pauses and did some self-reflection on like my physical, what do I need right now? I drank lots of water today. I tried not to overwhelm myself. If I had some things I was thinking about, like I had to send an appeal through the mail to a prescription that was denied by my insurance company. Long story, but I was thinking about how I was going to write the letter and appeal that. And so while I'm thinking about that, that is all I was doing. I was literally sitting in a chair and I was thinking about that. And when I was done thinking about it and I figured out what my plan was, I got up, I went to the computer, and I prepared the letter. So I do things very methodically now. When I don't, I pay for it. Clearly, I did a little too much today because I shouldn't have this much of a problem um, thinking through what I'm trying to say here. So I apologize for that. I know you can't tell what's going on inside my head, but I can tell. And it's like I'm talking, but I really can't put together any cohesive thoughts right now. So I'm really sorry about this, but I'm going to try to finish up. So today I did my yoga for an hour. And what I did was I made sure that I moved like a beginner would move. So when I used to do yoga before my stroke, I was pretty advanced at that point. And I was doing things that the person was actually saying. They say flip your dog or whatever, the terminology is. I would do it. But I couldn't do that stuff now. So I really altered the way I was doing it. And that's another example of easy does it, but do it. It felt really good to go through the motions. It felt really good to get down on the mat and I did take a moment to say, good job. You're doing it. You're actually following through. And I'm going to do that again tomorrow. But I might do a little less tomorrow than I did today so I can think straight. Um, if if I don't try, I will never be able to reach this self-actualization. Maslow's hierarchy of needs talks about self-actualization. That's the top of the pyramid or the bottom, however whatever your perspective you're looking at it. And when I was drinking, it was not possible for me to reach um, that point. And now I was thinking today, after I had my stroke, is it possible for me to reach self-actualization? And that's why I was thinking my potential has shifted. Yes, I can. I can reach self-actualization. It's just that things have shifted for me and it looks different than it did before. It's not possible if I don't get out of bed, if I don't accept my current situation, or if I'm not willing to try. The only reason I'm still talking through this episode is because I know whoever's listening understands that I'm having some of my symptoms triggered right now. And it's very uncomfortable to talk like this because I literally can't think a sentence through from beginning to end. I do have a script in front of me, so I'm doing my best, but it's very uncomfortable. One time I was asked to speak at an AA meeting to celebrate somebody's anniversary. And this happened when I was sitting in front of the room, and it was terrible. I wanted to run out of the room, but I didn't. I kept looking at the guy who I was speaking for, and he just kept telling me it was okay. And so I just kept talking and explained what was going on. I wish I could explain to you. It's like an extreme case of brain fog. So we're going to keep going. Each day that I wake up is an opportunity for me to live sober, to truly live. And I embrace every moment, even moments like the one I'm having right now, because I'm really looking back at how much fun I had today. And I feel very disappointed that it has left me the way that I feel right now. But I just have learned my lesson that I'll have to take it slower tomorrow. Yeah, it's getting worse. It's actually getting worse. So, I think that I should probably stop. Sorry. But this is live action here. So you're actually seeing the true extreme of my cognitive stuff failing. So I'm gonna have to stop because I can't even I can't even finish the episode. So thank you for listening, and I'm gonna get some rest, and I will see you back here tomorrow.